What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a hot minute since I've done a video. I will fill you guys in a different video of what's been going on from the last video I filmed to this video. So yeah, if you want to see how I recreated this look, then just go ahead and keep watching. Alrighty, so first I'm just going to go ahead and prime my eyelids with this NYX Full Coverage. It's in the shade Beige. I'm just going to go ahead and use this Wet n Wild brush. And I dipped it into the jar, and then I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to my eyelids. And then after I apply it all over, I'm just going to go ahead and use my finger to blend it all out, so that way we have a nice and even canvas for our eyeshadows. And next, taking my Jaclyn Hill palette and this Wet n Wild crease brush, I'm going to go ahead and dip into that shade right there. I don't remember the name, I'm sorry, but it's that shade. And I'm gonna, wow, tongue-tied. I'm gonna go ahead and blend that into my crease. And I'm gonna put quite a generous amount. I want that color to really stand out. So I'm just going in with windshield wiper motions and circular motions as well, just to get that product wherever I wanted it to be. Next, taking my Morphe 35B palette, I'm going to dip into that yellow shade at the bottom, just because I want that yellow to be just a tad bit brighter. So I'm just adding that on top of the shade that we already had. And if you can tell, it's already making a huge difference, so that yellow's really just popping out now. For some reason, it didn't record when I put the orange shade, but I took that orange shade right there and blended it into my crease just slightly under the yellow. I don't know why my camera stopped recording, but that's what I did. Next, I'm going to take that fuchsia magenta shade. I'm going to go ahead and blend that into my crease as well, just kind of on top of that orange shade, but still slightly under it, so that the orange will still peek through over it. And again, just really packing that color on, because I wanted it to be pretty bright and I wanted it to still stand out over those other colors. So next, I'm going to be taking that purple shade right there, and I'm going to go ahead and blend that right on top of that fuchsia shade we had just put, but focusing more of it on the inner and the outer corner of my eyelids. So again, just blending that and packing on the corners. Next, I'm just taking some concealer on that same brush we used earlier, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut my crease so that way I can add the other colors that I wanted to do, but so that they'll stand out a little bit more. Since that purple is a bit dark, I didn't want it to dull the other shades. So again, just cutting where I wanted to put other colors so that they would be a lot brighter. So I'm going to go back in with those two purple shades, and I'm going to blend that on the outer and inner corner again. Just really packing that on, and then I just go ahead and do little circular motions just to blend it out so that it's not so harsh. So now, switching brushes, I'm going to go ahead and dip into that blue shade up top, and I'm going to put that in front of the purple, just blending it into the purple so that you can't really tell where each color starts and ends. just kind of meshing the two together. So packing and just blending it together. This look was not easy. It was a process for sure, but it was so much fun. So don't be afraid to step out of the box. Next, taking that other blue shade, I'm going to go ahead and put that in front of the other color. So we're just going to keep adding colors as we go into the lid. This would have been a lot easier if I had slightly bigger eyelids, but I made it work. So next, taking that green shade and just a smidge of the shimmer green that was on top of it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add that into the middle of my lid as well. Just really packing that color on. It's a little hard to tell on camera, but in person you could really see that green shade stand out. Later on I'll go ahead and add more so that it really pops. And then right here I'm just going back in with that blending brush we were using for that purple fuchsia shade, and I'm just blending out the top so that it's not so harsh and that it all blends together. So just lightly brushing over that. Next, I'm taking this silver glitter liner that I got from the jewelry box. It's a store here in El Paso. You can also find it online if you're curious. Just look down in the description and I'll have those details for you. But I wanted to go ahead and add the glitter just to separate the crease from the lid colors. It wasn't necessarily in that Instagram photo, but it was just something I wanted to do. I wasn't necessarily trying to mimic it exactly, and I like glitter, so I just had to throw in some glitter. Next, taking my Rimmel Stay Matte primer, I'm going to go ahead and put that down the T-zone, because that's where I tend to get the most oily. And then taking my e.l.f. hydrating face primer, I'm going to go ahead and spread that on the rest of my face because I do have some drier patches on the outside of my face. Then taking my Maybelline SuperStay foundation in the shade 310 and my Maybelline spongy, I'm just going to go ahead and do some pumps of that on the sponge, and then it wasn't coming out. Any day now. Oh, there we go. Just gonna go ahead and blend that all over the face. And I've really been loving this sponge. It's super squishy, it's super affordable, so I'm really loving this sponge. And then I like that it has the tip and the flat side of it, so it makes it really easy to blend things out and get into those small spaces, or say clean up your eyeshadow. That pointy side really helps you to do that, so I've really been loving this sponge. So if you haven't tried it, I would definitely recommend trying it out. Next, we're going to go ahead and conceal the face. So I conceal down the center of my face and under my eyes in a triangle shape. And I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in the shade Light Pale. I dropped the lid. But yes, this is what it looks like. And then again, just blending all that out with my sponge. Next, taking this Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in the shade 15 Light. I'm going to go ahead and tap some of that out onto the lid, and then taking the same Maybelline sponge, I'm going to dip that in and go ahead and set everywhere that we put concealer. And this is a new product for me, so I've been recently loving it. I have no complaints about it. It's super fine and smooth. It looks great under the eye. Doesn't crease. It looks really good. So that's another thing that I would recommend. If you haven't tried, go ahead and give it a try, and you never know, you might like it. So putting some more of that on my forehead because that is where I also concealed. And I like using the sponge because I feel using the sponge makes the powder just really sink into your skin and it doesn't just look cakey. And of course, another appearance. Wouldn't be one of my videos without one. Next, taking my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in Translucent. But are you really getting ready if you're not jamming up to something? Using my Royal and Langnickle brush, I'm just going to go ahead and put that everywhere else to set my foundation, because if I don't, I just melt, especially in this heat. So setting my face all over is definitely a must. Talking about how I'll melt, but I'm wearing a jacket. I know, contradicting. It was cold that day, guys. Next, using my Wet n Wild contouring palette in Dulce De Leche, I'm going to be using the contour side. So I'm just going to go ahead and I get that on both sides of my brushes. Trying to show you what brush it is, but of course you can't see that. So again, using that bronzer shade to bronze up the face. So I just go from the tip of my ear down to my mouth, and then I like to bronze up around my hairline as well. So just really blending that into my temples and my forehead, but back into my hairline so that it's nice and seamless. This was me debating if I wanted to use this brush or not, but I'm going to use this brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and dip into that contour shade again and contour the nose. I am not the best at this, guys, but if I don't do it, I see and feel the difference and I don't like it. So I like to do it my way. If you don't like it, it's totally fine. You don't have to do it, but this is just how I do it. I'll get better at it in time. Going back into the Morphe 35B palette, I'm dipping back into that yellow shade, and I'm going to go ahead and smudge that on the inner corner of my eyes. It's kind of hard to tell because it's a bright color, but going back into Jaclyn Hill palette as well for that yellow shade, and putting that on the inner corner as well. That's me jamming out to more songs from Sing. When you have kids, you watch the movies too. Taking that orange shade, I'm going to go ahead and put that after the yellow shade. And then just using a towel, I go ahead and wipe off the product. And I'm going to dip into that fuchsia shade we used as well and put that after the orange shade. Just ever so small because we're making room for more colors. Then going into the purple and putting that on the outer corner. So it's a nice little gradient. I thought it looked pretty cool. Next, taking this Wet n Wild gel liner and carving my reach. And I'm just using the little brush that came with it. And I'm just going to go ahead and tightline my waterline. It was a little hard to do on camera, but next, going in with my Maybelline Curvitude, I'm just going to go ahead and draw out a line. I'm not going to make a wing, just the line, so that way when I apply my falsies, it'll blend a lot better with my natural lashes. So you totally don't have to do this step, but I personally like to. I've tried many different felt tip liners and they didn't work that great, but this one does work pretty well, especially over eyeshadow. If you already have some on, it'll still be pretty pigmented on top of it. After the liner, we're just going to go ahead and curl our lashes and prep for falsies. Using my L'Oreal Telescopic in Carbon Black, we're just going to go ahead and coat the lashes, coating the top and the bottom lashes. Then right here I'm using the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise just to add a little more volume to my lashes, again doing that to the top and bottom lashes. And that is what it looks like if you're curious. Next, going in with these lashes from Lash Galore. I'll leave their Instagram in the description. These are in the style Swaggy B. They're super fluffy. Trying to fix the craziness going on. Going in with my MAC Fix Plus in the scent Lavender. I'm just going to go ahead and set my face a little bit before applying the highlight. I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild MegaGlo in Precious Petals to highlight the face. And using my Morphe E61. So again, I just like to highlight the tops of my cheekbone, and then I kind of brush it up into a C motion, up to my temple, tip of my nose, top of my brows, and I do just a smidge on my chin. And then I always have to add more. I don't know if you've noticed, but after I do it once, I gotta add some more. Can never have enough glow. All these lip swatches for me trying to figure out which shade I wanted to use, but I'm going to go ahead and take this LA Girl lip liner in the shade Mauve, and I'm just going to go ahead and line the lips as normal. I don't overline my lips, I just go ahead and line my lips just the way they are. That's just my personal preference. Next, taking this NYX Liquid Suede in the shade Vintage, I'm just going to go ahead and fill in my lips. I really like this shade. The formula of this one is really good. It has to be probably one of my favorites from NYX. All the other formulas I'm not too fond of, but this one's really good. Dipping back into the highlight, I'm going to go ahead and highlight the inner corners and my brow bone with the same Wet n Wild Precious Petal highlight. Also, just going to go ahead and set those brows. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Brow Drama in Soft Brown. I do need to get a new one, but this has been working, so I'm just going to finish it out. But this is what it looks like if you are curious. pushed the button and turned it off and I put it down. I pushed the button when I put it down, so it didn't record any of that. Well, after I put it down. Alright guys, that completes this look. Thank you for watching. It didn't turn out like the picture that I was inspired by, but that's okay. I still had fun doing it, and it's been a while, so it was nice to film again. But yeah, so if you stuck with me till the end, I appreciate you. And if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It's right next to it, so that way whenever I upload, you'll be notified. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say except I love you guys and thank you for watching. Bye!